Hey everybody, it is Janet Metzger of the Network Marketers Den and want to welcome you to the podcast. You know, I've been in this business, network marketing, for 20 plus years, and I absolutely love it. And I'm so privileged today to bring you a guest that I met through a friend. You know, that's the power of networking. And this gentleman is so incredibly successful. So I want to welcome, and I'm going to give him just tell you a little bit about his story, but I want to welcome Gil Calderon. Gil, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait.
Oh, you bet. And I know it's early for Gil because Gil lives in Southern California. And so it's earlier for him than it is for me. So I appreciate you waking up early. I hope you've had some coffee. But Gil Calderon is half of a team, half of a husband and wife team. Not joining us today, but his wife, Rachaelle, is a big part of their business. You know, you've been married 24 years. I can relate to that. And I congratulate you for being able to work with your wife for that long, but you've been together 28. It's a long time. And you've been in direct sales for 10 plus years. But I thought your story was very interesting when you said you joined direct selling because you had to medically retire at a very young age, at the age of 38, due to a botched cancer surgery. What I found very interesting as you and I talked is that you sold for many different companies, but you also found that when you were passionate, you became top producers, which everybody's going to want to hear about that. Been atop the leaderboard, been number one. And this is impressive to me. Gil and Rachaelle are very, very consistent. So they started selling CBD when a friend asked them to try it. And it drastically changed Gil's life. He immediately began to feel like he was getting his life back. So Gil, I want to welcome you. Please, I can't wait to meet Rachaelle on another call. But so exciting what you guys have accomplished. So you're in SoCal,
Yes.
and beautiful area. I'm jealous. So
Yeah, we are in SoCal. A bit bipolar weather, as we were discussing earlier. You know, it's just rainy, sunny the next, freeze following day. And so we just go with the flow right now.
Go with the flow.
We love
That's
the fact that we're finally back. Yeah.
It's like where I live, it's, if you don't like the weather, just wait an hour and it will change. So, but what you all have accomplished to me is phenomenal. Now you've been at the top of a couple different companies. You're with a newer company. And already in the first few months, you were number one in sales. So, we're going to get into some details, but if I ask, what would you say? I mean, and I'm not talking top in your area, I'm talking top in the company, which is blowing me away. But
nationwide.
What's the common thread in their different types of products? But what's the common thread of what's made you guys top of the heap, if you will?
I think number one, it would be passion, the passion for the product.
Okay.
We both, like you said earlier, you introduced that we got into this because I had to medically retire 15 and a half to do that botched cancer surgery. And we found that I'm 100% extrovert. And so, even when I was working in corporate world, it was they would put me on the phone to try to get orders and things like that because I was the customer intimate, right? And so that kind of has followed me around. When I had to medically retire, the four walls, being stuck in four walls all day long, and because of my health conditions and things like that, I really couldn't do much. And so we started bringing people to us. So in order to do that, we started doing the party plans. We got into some that where you had to have your party, host your parties and things like that. And we quickly realized that if we just got into something it wasn't going to happen. I had to believe in the product. I had to have passion for it. And that's what we did. And the only reason why we have sold for multiple companies is that things happen in network marketing. Businesses shut down, or they don't move fast enough for board of directors, and so their plans go away. And so we found ourselves, when we were passionate, we quickly promoted to directors or what have you, bringing people on our team. And that's where we've been. We've been able to do markets. If in our area, the party plan was great for us. We loved it, but I needed more contact than just having a party a week or a party. And so we did that by some of our friends started doing farmers markets and little vendor boutiques, indoor, outdoor, it doesn't matter. And we started with that. We started finding our little local ones on Facebook. I went on different pages and find your local events, and just started getting our feet wet that way. All the details were to do it.
And doing those local events, we're going to talk a lot about that, because as I shared with you when we talked before, that so many of my students ask me about them. I swear at every group coaching, the subject comes up. So we're going to want to hear your secrets, if you will. But regardless of what the product was, you found that these venues, the markets, indoor, outdoor, does not matter. It worked regardless of what the product was, as long as you were passionate about it.
Yeah, as long as we were passionate. And you said, we've talked about this before, where you have to be genuine. You can't, you can't show up or try to sell a product that, number one, you may not know nothing about, or you don't use, or you don't, if you're just trying to sell the quick buck, then people see right through it, and it makes it harder. For me, everything that we sold, from stoneware to CBD to even home goods, it was just, we did sell home goods, but we love to decorate our house too. So
right.
So it was things like that we got into. The stoneware was a perfect fit for us because of the entertaining, bringing people into our home, since I couldn't go out to them. I mean, there was a point in my life where I couldn't travel more than 45 minutes to an hour and a half from my home, because that traveling would sometimes put me into the hospital. That's how exhausted.
Oh my gosh. So you found a workaround.
So we did a workaround, much to people's dismay, because, we had to figure out how it worked for us, and that's what I encourage people. Find out what works for you, and build off of that. And so for us, we were bringing people in. So the stoneware, cooking dishes, platters, casseroles, we were entertaining all the time. So people were seeing that. And then, then we took it out to the markets. We were like, okay, how is this going to work in the market? Because stoneware is heavy. I don't want to carry the whole catalog, but you have to figure out what works. And, and it took us a little while to do that, but we finally, and now that we do CBD, it's helped me so much in my body. It's THC free, so it's not like I'm getting a high out there or anything like that, but it helps with stress, anxiety, inflammation. And I started to feel, when I got into this product, within, every body type is different, but within 4 days, I started to feel like I was having energy. My pain level was going down. All these things from all these different conditions that I have, I started noticing it. And so that got me excited, because one of my websites it's the tagline is "Back to Life," and it's my
love that
website. And I named it Back to Life because I felt like after 15 and a half years, I'm finally getting my life back. And it's all due to the product. I mean, we tried everybody's product. I'm telling you, being a networker, we've tried all of our friends' products because, okay, let's see. I want to support you, but I want to see how your product works. And my body would respond to it for a little while, maybe a month or two. And then it was like clockwork, just like seeing my physicians. My cocktail had to switch up because the meds,
gotcha.
my body would just start rejecting it. And so that's where when CBD happened, I was like, okay, I'm feeling better. I'm doing better. And I just started getting excited, talking about this product a lot with everybody I came in contact with. And in essence, that's what it boiled down to. It's once I saw what the product could do for me and was doing for me, I said, I can't hold this in for myself. I can't just be stingy and not share because everybody's suffering. There's a lot of people suffering right now. And I said, so I want to help people. For me, it's more about helping people, and we get blessed with the sales in return because we're in it to help and not to get rich quick.
Right. That is so well said, because regardless of what your company is, we're all in the business of helping others and to solve other people's problems. And if you are in it for the money, that, like you said, that's just a nice benefit on the side. But so you do these events a couple times a month. Is that typically what you do? 2 weekends a month, maybe a little more, a little less?
It depends on the season. Like, January, February, March. I think I January and February had 0 events out there just because of weather. Right?
Sure.
And then once March came, we were booked for a couple of weekends, and then weather postponed us. So you have to be able to go with the flow, especially in our neck of the woods here. It's just, you can be scheduled and then all of a sudden you're either getting rained out or blown away because the wind.
Right. Yeah. If we tried to do something where I live in January or February, we'd have to have our boots on in our winter parkas. So we do a lot of inside things, but you're right. The weather is a factor, but you have found a way to, you and Rachaelle, to deal with it because, like you said, you can't there's a lot of things that are out of your control, like the number of attendees, that type of thing. But let's start here. You kind of touched on it a little bit. Where do you find and how do you decide what events to go to? Because there's a lot of them. I look at it this time of the year where I live. You could be doing 5 events in a weekend. there's so many. But how do you pick which ones you're going to attend?
Oh, great question. So it all started with us. We were just grabbing anything that we could get our hands on, especially if you are with a company that is big name, well known, that in our area, we have a lot of wait lists for people with Sensi and Paparazzi, all these different companies. And so we had to just try to find different markets, boutiques, whatever it was that we felt would fit the niche. So for like the stoneware, we would look for food festivals that we were, because all the foodies were there. Or those that love to entertain, or bridal shows kind of things. And yes, we did regular markets too, but we tried to pinpoint. Now with CBD, it's, again, we've been doing this for 10 years now, somewhere around there. I know it's been 10 seasons up in one market that we've been out there. And so what I encourage people to do is don't just try an event one time. If you find an event, if that may be the slowest day ever, and the coordinators have no control over that, over how many people come, regardless of advertising or not. It's the gamble. It's the nature of the beast of doing events, right? Make the most of it. And so what we started doing is just we told ourselves we would try an event no less than 3 times.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
And no more than 5 times, if, and to see if it was going to be worth it or not. So, because there's some, especially anymore, because boutiques and stuff have gotten so popular, coordinators are out there charging astronomical amount because they're collecting all the fees, right? And I don't, it just happens. So we built a relationship with a lot of different coordinators and markets, and that now they call looking for us, to be part of their market, because it was all about professionalism, never complaining. You find these markets, you do your job, you show up, you go where they put you, and you make the most of it. Even if nobody's coming in, that smile is still on our face, and we tell, you don't know how many coordinators come and just say, we feel so bad, we thought it was going to be better. Hey, it was still good for us. We got to talk to people. We got to meet people around us. And so that was our thing. We just found them, continued to do them. Those that we saw, nope, it's not our niche, especially now with CBD. CBD now, I am looking for markets that sports, because we have pain relieving roll-ons and things like that for achy ankles. I'm doing events and venues where older people attend, because we all have achy joints as we get older.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And so, and then we have 3-day home shows that have been begging us to come, but it's just, for me, I'm having to pick and choose what I do right now, just because of costs and things like that.
Sure.
And you work your way up. You just don't go from a tiny market to all of a sudden the next week you're going to do a 3-day home show without getting your feet wet in between to know what to expect.
Right. Great advice. I love how you're saying try something 3 times because you don't know. And the other thing, it's very obvious you guys have the right attitude, regardless. And that's why you're being invited back. So congratulations. Do you want to tell everybody your motto is "It only takes one"? Tell us a little bit about that. I love that.
Yeah. So I'm going to be total transparent with you. I am the impatient one in the relationship.
Really?
Right. And so I can be the bubbly social butterfly, but oh my gosh, I caught myself in my own trap of complaining, grumbling, you know what I mean? And getting nervous because we spent X number of dollars for a vendor fee and we haven't had a sale yet, kind of,
Right.
So early on, I would say probably, very early on, when my wife is the patient one, she's the people whisperer, kind of, it's like she just smiles and they come to her like flies on honey, right? Kind of thing. And so she's the one who actually taught me. She said, "Gil, you're stressing out. I could see it on your face. Just it shows. Don't show that to the people. You know what I mean? Don't show that it's you're dying for a sale kind of thing."
Sure.
She goes, "Just learn that it only takes one." And I said, and I looked at her, I'm like, "What do you mean it only takes one?" She goes, "It only takes one to have that big sale. It only takes one person to be that lead that will change our lives forever. It only takes one person to come on board our team that will catapult us to, 2 or 3 positions, if you will." It only takes one. So even if it's the end of the day, don't worry, right? And so we carry that everywhere we go, and whoever our neighbor is, we're always sharing that. Yeah, it's slow, but it only takes one. and then they ask what, and then we're always trying to learn, you know what I mean, and to teach others
Sure.
to have the same mentality that we're going to be okay. I mean, we did one event where it was dead 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours that we were at this event, and maybe 2 people had walked through the whole entire event.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, that's a long day.
Yeah, it's a long day. And of course, the coordinator, you know, they all have their rules. Nobody shuts down regardless of, you know, don't think of leaving early. And about an hour and a half in, people were starting to pack up and leave. And I felt so horrible for this coordinator. And she came and she says, "You guys aren't going?" I said, "No, you told us the event was from this time to this time. We're going to be here until you're ready to pack up yourself. Until you call it, we'll be here." And so 5 minutes to the time that it was supposed to end, a woman came in, and she was walking the event, and she loved the stoneware. This is when we sold stoneware, and she left with $800 order.
Holy
$800 order at a little event. Everybody, those that were still there, that were packing up but just lollygagging around, you know, were just like, we couldn't believe she left. They drove their car back in to where we were, even though, you know, because it was just us and the coordinator's tents by that time. Came back and said, "I want to add some stuff to my order too." You know, and so and the great thing about that is we had friends that our vendor family is truly our family. It's
Sure.
just, you know, we
Yeah,
built
because I'm sure they're at a lot of
Yeah.
the same events, and especially if you're back a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. And so people see that those kinds of things happen to us all the time. And now you can see the attitude changes in different people, because now they start saying, it only takes one. It only takes one, you know.
Boy, those are wise words. They really, really are. And, you know, in your business, you have subscriptions that people can, you know, automatic order. So, you know, when we had talked before, you had said, you know, somebody, maybe they spend $100 now, but if you're on a subscription program, look at it over the life of it. So I think those are really, really wise words, that attitude. So, so give us, if you would, 2 to 3 things at an event, why you are, because, you know, it all starts with the mind. I mean, I love that. But 2 or 3 things that you do that you would tell our audience that they need to do at an event to be successful. What has really made your events different than others? Because everybody's got the same audience. So, but what makes you guys a success? What's different about Gil and Rachaelle?
I think the number one thing is take pride in your display. You know what I mean? It's when you're setting up, don't just look like you're at a flea market and throw your product on a table with no rhyme or reason. You know, you don't necessarily need your whole catalog out there. You just need one of each thing. You know, we sell CBD. Our case comes in a little box that I set, you know, with 8 things in there, you know,
Right,
a little
right.
that I'm displaying them in. But we've taken pride in our tablecloths. You know, our tablecloths look like there are wood crates but they're designed with the fabric that way. So, and when we were selling wine, it just went with the whole theme, but we carried it over onto this display, and we get so many compliments just on our tiny little setup, you know. And believe me, when we did stoneware, we had 6 tables tiered. I mean, it was just, we had it all out there, right?
Right.
But that's what we needed to do for stoneware. We don't need to do that with CBD.
Mm-hmm,
A minimal display, make sure that it's just that you're taking pride, it's done in excellence, and that you're there. That's point number one. Point number two would be smile. It doesn't hurt to smile. You know, we go to events over and over, and you don't know how many people will just be behind their table, facing their phone or their iPad or, you know, what have you, in a book, not even looking. And people are walking by. Make eye contact, smile, call them in, invite them in, you know, especially like for us. If we see somebody that's reading our little signs on our table that says helps with stress, anxiety, pain, you know, they're reading that. So our first thing is, you know, we're saying hi, not that hi, come in and look what I have, just hello. If they stop, and then we're saying, ooh, are you interested for yourself or for somebody else? So,
that's a great question.
Yeah. And that way, oh, well, I'm looking right now, but some of these things I can use for this person, or even myself. You know, and then we just go on those conversations. The next thing would be, don't push. We let people walk away, right?
Ooh, wow.
We let them walk away. If we have a conversation with them, yes, believe you me, I am giving my cards, my business cards. If they will give it to me, I will take their information on a lead sheet so that I could follow up, especially if there are conditions that my product can help with. Then I know that I want to follow up with them. In our area, they can roll on some pain relief, right? And we'll give them the option. Look, I have this here. You can sample this for free. Roll it on, walk around. You know, if you need to run to the restroom because it's in an area that you can't get to in public, you know, go do it, bring it back. And this is where thousands of people are coming, and I'm letting my product go off the table to a restroom somewhere, you know, on the grounds. And then right. It's just, you know, just show some trust, you know, kind of thing. And it's just like, and then I said, and then by the time you get back, you could let me know. And if it still hasn't helped you, then you know, at least you tried it, right? And they'll walk away, right? Some of them will come back within 3 minutes that, nope, I need it. You don't know how much pain I was in before I did this.
Right.
Okay, you know, and that's what we do. So it's never, yes, it's about the sale, but it's never about the sale. You know what I mean?
It's about solving their problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm solving your problem. You know, I'm going to let you make that choice, because we don't know what other people's priorities are, right? And which takes me to my fourth, or the next point would be, don't put your own situation into someone else's pocketbook. So, meaning, if my finances are tight this week, then that reflects on the way we approach our sales, right? Because if I don't have money, then maybe they don't have money. And so I'm not going to give it my all because, oh, maybe they can't buy either, right? We're always, no, we don't know who you are. Your priorities are going to be different. When we were selling stoneware, we would go into a very upper middle class vendor event thinking we are going to kill it, right? Because we would come out maybe selling about $100 worth of product, right? Sometimes even zero, right? Then we would go into a lower class neighborhood that, you know, the majority's on welfare, but you know, you're there to support, blah, blah, blah. And we would go, and our sales could be in the thousands. And this is from people that are on fixed incomes, right?
They really wanted the products. They were willing to do what it took. I love that.
And here's where what we realized. In the upper middle class neighborhoods where we thought we were going to kill it, they go out to eat. It's not about cooking in these dishes, taking pride in presenting. Yeah, those that entertain bought, but when we went into these less fortunate neighborhoods, that, you know, it was just like they took pride in sitting around the table and displaying their food as perfect as they could be. And that was an investment that they were willing to make, you know.
Wow.
And that's so we quickly learned at that point, never put our own situation into someone else's pocketbook, because you don't know what their priorities are.
Right.
And yeah.
Wow.
And so it doesn't have anything to do with the price of your product. It doesn't, you know, or the big bundles or whatever that you can get. It has everything to do with their priorities, you know. And so, and you share something with them, like for us that we're doing CBD, I'm sharing a product with you because I want to help you find relief, right? And if you find that relief, more often than not, you're going to be willing to make the sacrifices or the adjustments that you need to buy that product, regardless of the price,
as long as it works.
helping. Yeah.
Wow, Gil, that is, I'm 100% in agreement, because I love that you don't prejudge, and don't take your agenda and put it on others. That is so well said. So, oh my goodness. In the displays are everything. I agree 100%, because you know, a bottle of CBD is not exactly flashy. So by doing a really nice thing, but your advice about it, you know, to us, it feels like common sense, but we both have been at enough vendor events that we don't see that. So that's tremendous. So now you have an offer for our listeners, because first of all, I can't thank you enough. You have, I know you've helped a lot of people, not only with your product, but with this info that you're sharing. And it's so, puts a smile on my face to hear how you've helped those other vendors. You don't see them as competition. You see them as supporting one another. And it's no wonder you and Rachaelle have been number one in a few companies. It is no wonder at all. And, but you know, you've got the right attitude. So if our listeners want to get in touch with you, do you have some sort of an offer you'd like to present to them?
Sure. We, Rachaelle and I would like to offer, if for the first 100 people, and we may even extend it, that place orders of $100 or more, then we will give you a free product sample of $35 to $40. It just depends.
Wow.
And so that will come separate. So once that order comes in, I will then be able to forward. I'll have all the contact information. So I'll be able to forward and contact directly, speak one-on-one with those customers, to give them a choice of the product that we have. Sure. We want to give.
Sure. So, and for our listeners, all of your information is in there. So if somebody wants a consultation, because you're an expert at what is recommended. Unfortunately, you know from firsthand experience, but it's also a big benefit. So, but Gil, I cannot tell you how much information and valuable information you have given, and it was such a pleasure to get to know you. And again, I really look forward to Rachaelle. But if for our listeners, if you have any questions, I know Gil and Rachaelle would love to talk with you, whether it's on their product, their earning opportunity, and you are with a company that is really exploding. I took my gummies last night, and that's with Commons, which is a great company, and great support. I know the management team. So you definitely want, if you're suffering from pain, if you want to know how to do a better event, even if you're selling another product, Gil's your guy. Or certainly reach out to him. So Gil, I have one last question. What do you like to do for fun? When you're not working, what do you and Rachaelle like to do for fun?
Well, before I got sick, we were traveling the world, right?
Okay.
We used to love to do missions, so we've been all over Africa. We were actually planning on moving to Africa before I got sick.
Oh
But
my.
traveling,
Okay.
yeah, traveling was our big thing. Now it's I used to say food. Food was my big thing, not anymore because now I cook at home. And so, now if we go out and eat, I'm like, why did I spend all this money when I could have just made it at home?
Isn't that funny? Yeah, and we've gotten so we can make it better than you can get when you go
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
And so now it's all about networking for me. It's I'm on a couple of different chambers. I'm on the board of directors for one, and it's all about supporting all of our fellow business owners and things. So that consumes a lot of our time right now. I also do a small little bunko event once a month in our home. It's
Okay.
It's just for vendors, vendors and guests, but we have 12 vendors, select vendors, and each month we have 2 spotlight vendors. And so the prizes are shopping sprees with those vendors. And so for an hour and a half of fun, those vendors can get anywhere from $600+ just on my little bunko event that I hold here in my home,
Great. How fun.
So,
How fun. Well, it is, like I said, I know now why you and Rachaelle have been so successful, but it was truly my pleasure. So I want to thank you, Gil. Thank Rachaelle for letting you be here with us. And for all of our listeners, be sure to check out the show notes on Gil. At the Network Marketers Den, we do have a free Facebook group for anybody to join. And my vision is to help everybody that has decided on this great profession to be very, very successful. I also offer for everybody, you can go ahead and check it out, How to Grow Your Business in 15 Minutes a Day. That is a free webinar that is offered, and you'll see all of that in the show notes. So Gil, thank you so much. And here's to you and everybody in our network achieving all their goals and dreams. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.